Okay, so hi and welcome to this video. So last time we left off whoops, with a user being able to accept a request and then it would add it to the friends array. But currently that won't work if they have more than one if they have one or more friends, because at the moment we haven't told it to add a comma to separate each item in the array. So I hope that makes sense. But today that's all we am doing, and I'll try and keep it shorter than the last one because 52 minutes is ridiculously long for one video. Okay, we're just gonna do the same, well, a similar thing to what we did up here. Actually, we can just copy this and just change null to greater than or equal to 1. Oops. So what this means is if change this to actually just friend array account. So it means if they have one or more friends, so greater than or equal to 1. So if, in the friend array, if there is more than one friend or one or more friends, then we run this. Then add friend query is this line as opposed to this line. And in this line up here, we told it to just append the user from, which the username of whoever sent the friend request. And in this line, what we're just going to do is put a comma at the start. So we just append the comma and then the user from. Just change this to user from. And change this to user. So the only thing that's different about this query is the comma at the start. And we can just copy this one again. Do the same thing we did up here. So greater than or equal to 1. And just append a comma to the start. Whoops. Append a comma to the start. And then that should be it for the add friend function or functionality. So I'm just gonna, sorry, it's running a bit slow today, this computer. We also, no wait, we don't. I was gonna say we need to put a check for whether they're already friends, but we don't need to because we're going to get this to disappear once they accept it. So just for I'm just gonna log out. I'm gonna log in as Cinema2. I'm gonna send a friend request to Francis, and Francis this is the row for the user Francis, and I already have one friend, which is Cinema. So theoretically, if that code works, it will just append comma and then the username Cinema2 onto my friend array, and in the Cinema2 friend array, it'll just say Francis. Okay, so go to Francis's profile. That's running slow. Okay, so we just add as a friend. Friend request has been sent, and we go to friend requests.php now. Okay, so I just need to fix line 21. Oh, okay. Okay, I think I'll come back when I fix this. Okay, so that was just a pretty simple problem I just forgot. So if they have no friend requests, we haven't declared the variable user from, and here we've said dot user from. is we've just used this line of code here, but it doesn't know the variable user from. We need to assign a value to it. So the value, whatever we assign to the value of user from, doesn't matter. So we could just say we just say we can just give it a value of nothing. And since I have no friend requests, let's see, that goes away. So now if I log in as Francis, whoops, and go to the friend requests.php page, now it says Cinema2 wants to be friends. And wait, just give me a second. Okay, so the reason I stopped for a second was because in our friend request, I'll just refresh this actually. So in our friend requests table, we have 3 rows now, and I just thought that it wasn't working because I thought that Francis had 2 friend requests, but it turns out user 2 is Cinema. So I sent another one just to make sure, and it does work because as you can see there's 2. So I'm just gonna go back to friend requests, and I will just add a break. It's the wrong page. Okay, so I will just append a break onto the end of this, maybe 2 breaks. So now we get both friend requests. Okay, so right, I will move this form up into the while loop because it's only been displayed once and we want it to be displayed more than once. So just put it in here. And since we are using the single quote thing, we have to put a dot, a space dot, and then a single quote when we're declaring a variable. So let's see, did this fix it now? Okay, so that's fixed, and we can actually just get rid of this. So now theoretically, if I click accept request and I go to users, hopefully, if we did it right, okay. So I will fix this and come back to it. I'm sorry I made so many mistakes. Okay, so what I believe the problem was is me being an idiot. Forgot to remove these echo, the PHP code blocks and the echo thing, because I forgot that now we're actually in a PHP block, so we don't need those. So we can just, to make sure that works and we don't waste time, we can just check. Okay, so that looks like it's worked. That looks like it's gonna work. So if we click accept request, hopefully now. Okay, so why is that not working? Okay, so finally I think I know what the problem was. So as you can see, the code is slightly different now. And we did have these 2, I just got rid of them. So what I've done is I've moved the form for adding a friend and accepting a request down to the bottom, and I'm gonna put in 2 curly brackets here to end the code up here, which is why I got rid of these. So now this means that this while loop will run everything inside of it each time for every single row. So hopefully now this means it will work. So if we refresh, click accept request, you are now friends. It's a good sign because it shows it worked. And hopefully now the user Francis should have a comma, and then it should say cinema 2 in his friend array. Yeah, but there's a slight problem. The user cinema 2 also has the comma, so let me just fix this. Okay, so sorry for making so many mistakes, but I've just worked out why this code was failing and why it was giving us the comma at the start. So the reason for that was because I did a check here, and it says cinema 2 there, and I was looking for friend array friend, which is the friend array of the user's friend. And as you can see, friend array friend equals get friend row friend array. But that's the variable we specified for up here. So this should say get friend row friend. And that was such a stupid error, I never noticed it. So if we refresh, we get 0, and that means that it's working. So just undo this back to the way we had it. Okay, so that's the way we had it. So all we need to do is, once again, just change friend or get friend row to get friend row friend. Now, I'll just refresh this to make sure that it's clear. Okay, so what we should see now is when we click accept friend request, friend Google should it should say Francis in here, and Francis should say cinema 2 comma Google. So if we click accept request, and it's worked. Now since Google had a friend, since the friend array for Google equaled null, which meant it was empty, and we didn't add a comma, and since the friend array row for Francis had a friend in it, we added a comma, and then we added the friend name. So now that works, we just need to add code to actually remove it from the friend array table, because once you accept the friend request, you want it to disappear. You want the these buttons to disappear so that you don't keep accepting the same request. So that's quite simple. So all we have to say is create a variable, call it delete request, and equal MySQL query delete from friend request where user 2 equals user 2, which is the user that sent the user that's received the friend request, and user from equals user from. So what this query does is just deletes the friend request, and since we're specifying these two rows, there can't be more than one friend request in the table that equals the variable the user who sent the friend request and who received the friend request. Basically, so it means that it sort of means that it will only delete the friend request that's accepted, because that's a unique friend request. Because there's no friend request that's going to equal where the user from and the user to are going to be the same as another friend request. Like these two rows, Francis and user from equals Francis and user to equals cinema, and there can't be another friend request in this table that equals those two rows, which is basically why we did it. So I'll just go to users and I will just edit these two rows and just delete the friend requests or the friend array, and then we will accept it again, and now we will see the friend request disappear from the friend requests table. So then it'll disappear here, so they can't keep accepting the same request. So we refresh and we click accept request. It says you are now friends, and then you click enter, it disappears, and you click enter, it disappears. We could also make a check that says so they can't just keep clicking the button, or we could just, yeah, that's working. Or we could just simply say header location, location, and then we could just say friend requests .php, because that's the page they're on. It's friend requests plural. Okay, so now they don't have any friend requests, so I'm just going to send a friend request and I'll come back when I sent it. Okay, so actually I didn't need to do that. I just logged into Cinema and it says I have a friend request from Francis. So if I click accept request, now we click it, it disappears, and we go to the friend array. And now the top result, Cinema, says Francis in the friend array, and Francis's friend array says Cinema2, comma, Google, comma, Cinema. So now he has 3 friends and Cinema has 1 friend, and it's all working. So the next thing we need to do is say what if they ignore the friend request, which is quite simple. So underneath here we just say if is set post ignore, and then we just say ignore and once again append user from so that it's unique. So don't ignore every friend request you have when you ignore one. So what we just say is we can just copy this. So basically what we're doing here is if they ignore the request, we're doing everything we're just doing the same 3 things we did in the last friend request. In the if they accepted it, we're deleting it, telling them they deleted it, and then we're just gonna take them back to the header or to the friend requests page so that it disappears. So it doesn't matter, but we could just change this to ignore request, and you could just say request ignored, and that's basically it. So I'll go to Cinema and I will send a friend request. Oh yeah. So there's no point checking that because I know that will work. So the next thing we need to do is go to the profile. Oh wait, actually, let me see. Is there anyone who's not friends? Okay, so I changed my mind, and I'm just gonna prove that this works. So I'll say ignore request. Maybe it doesn't work. Let me see. Okay, yeah, it wasn't going to work because I just left that. Good thing I checked it. So we just refresh, click ignore request. Now it ignored it. So Cinema, it was from Cinema, I think. So now if we go to Cinema 2, yeah, we don't have any more friend requests. And don't worry about that. That was just a problem whenever I was testing it. I must have just forgot to delete one of the friends. It doesn't matter. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go to the profiles, and we're going to make a check so that someone can't keep sending friend requests to people if they're already friends. So that's pretty simple. All we do is, so we go to the profile code, obviously. Just delete that. So we go to the profile page code, and just looking for it here. So okay, we can just create another PHP block here, and okay, no, that's not what we want to do. That's what we're going to do in the next video. So okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go down. Oops. We're gonna go down here and create a new PHP block. And what we're going to say, we're going to declare some variables first. So it's a friend array, or friends plural. Count friends. And friends array. I know it's weird, but I'm calling it friends array 12 because that's how many friends will show on the profile. So, and what we're going to do next is create a query called select friends query, and it's going to equal MySQL query select friend array from users, where username equals username, which is as I keep saying, this value here. So now we've got the friend array. We need to get the friend row, so we can create a variable called friend row, which equals MySQL fetch ASOC oops, what is it? Let me just copy this actually. And the next thing we need to do is just create a variable called friend array, which equals friend row, which is the variable we made up here. Friend row, friend array. So now we've got the friend array. Now what we're going to say is just a simple if statement. So if friend array equals nothing, so if it's empty and they have no friends yet, we can just say, oh wait, no, that's wrong. We say if friend array isn't empty, then we're going to create say the variable friend array equals explode. So we're just we're just giving the value of this is current of the variable friend array is currently the row from the database, and now we're changing the value of the variable friend array to the exploded version of the row, which is because it's an array, so we're using the explode function to separate it with commas into different. For example, if they have 4 friends and there's they're all separated by commas in one big long array, well, string. What we're doing is splitting that string in the commas, and we're just taking each one and sort of making it its own string, kind of, so we can use it individually. So the explode function takes two parameters, the first one being a comma, and the next one is what the array you want to actually explode. So that's, in our case, friend array. And now we just want to count the number of things in the array. So we want to count how many things are left after it's been exploded. So that will be, if there's 4 friends, there'll be 4 things left. So then we just create a variable called friend array. Well, we don't create it, we've already created it, but we're just assigning it a proper value this time. And we're using the array slice function. So we're going to slice it into 12 parts basically. So even if there's 4 friends, it won't slice the 4 words into 12 parts. But if there's 12 friends and they're all separated by commas, it will take all those 12 friends and basically make them their own sort of string. That's not what it does, but that's just sort of a way of thinking about it. So this array slice function takes, or method or whatever, takes 2 or 3 parameters. First one being the exploded array you want to actually slice. The next one being where you want to start slicing, which is in our case 0, because we want to start on the very first friend and we want to slice all the way up to the 12th friend. So now we've done that, we just go out of this if statement and we can just say, we can create a variable called I, which equals 0. And basically we'll create another if statement and we could say if in array, which is another function. So if in array equals user, which is the variable of whoever's logged in. So if I'm logged in as cinema2, the variable user equals cinema2, comma, friend array. So it's just checking if, oh wait, no, the variable user for some reason seems to be changed, and it is, the variable user is the name of the, for example, whatever, oh my god, this is hard to explain. So if they have 4 friends in the array, there'll be 4 variable, or the user variable will equal each of those friends in the array. So the user variable the first time will say if the first friend in the array was cinema2, which obviously it isn't because I'm logged in as cinema2, then the variable user would equal cinema2. Then the next friend, for the next friend, it would equal Google, and so on and so forth until I got to 12. So then we just say add as friend equals, and then we're just gonna create the submit button. What am I doing? Input type equals submit name, and this is going to be removed from, because if the name of the friend already exists in the friend array, we don't want to be able to add it again. So it's kind of a complicated way of doing it, which is why these videos took a while to come out, because I was having trouble getting it to work correctly. And we can just say else, so if they are not already friends basically, then we just do the same thing as above, except we change the button to say add as friend, and we allow them to actually add them as a friend. So we just say add friend, like the button we used earlier, and we say add as friend. Then underneath we just echo the variable add as friend. And since we've done that, we can get rid of this here, this input, and now since I'm logged in as myself, it won't change. So yeah, okay, I think that's because I'm logged in as myself. So let me just, okay, we can fix that in a second. So wait, yeah, you'll always be logged in as yourself. So to fix that, let me see. No, wait, it wasn't that. It was because I used the wrong variable. So we just change that to, yeah, whoops. Change that to the actual variable friend array we used, and it end. So we can just also say add friend. No, add as friend. And just give it a blank value. 112. Where's that? I'm making so many typos today. So click enter. Finally, it's fixed. So since you're logged in as yourself, it won't let you add yourself as a friend. But if I was to go to someone else's profile, since the user Francis is friends with the cinema, as you can see in the friend array, then it just says remove his friend or remove friend. But if I logged in as Google and I went to cinema's profile, which I don't think they're friends, now it says add as friend. So click that and it works. So that's it for this tutorial, because I don't want it to go too long. So next time what we'll be doing is on the user's profile we'll be actually showing the friends profile images here, and maybe if we have time allowing them to remove friends. So don't forget to comment, rate and subscribe. Thanks for watching.